Hello everybody, Bad Weather Freak here with another video. As usual, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys an update regarding the 2021 hurricane season. And this year, obviously, things are pointing out to be another busy season. Today is April 28th, 2021. So we're getting closer. We're definitely getting really close to the beginning of the hurricane season. And let's dive in. So I'm going to show you a few things that are going to keep you updated on the progress as we get closer to the season. So I'm going to show you a few pages and talk about a few numbers as far as expected storms. So the first site we're going to watch here, or first thing we're going to check, it is going to be the sea surface temperature. As you can see, this is updated as of April 25th, so 3 days ago. And the majority of the Pacific, which is the El Nino area, and I'm going to show you in another graph later on this video, what are we looking at here as far as the numbers goes. But the majority of the Pacific here, as you can see, is shaded in blue. That means that we are still, or they still in a La Nina state still. Now, it's not as predominant as it was at the peak of the hurricane season last year. That's why we had an unusual amount of storms and hurricanes make landfall and form. But still, we are in La Nina. So you can see the majority of the blue here still covering the majority of the Pacific, which means we are still in a weak La Nina state. Now, slowly warming up, but we'll see as we get closer to see if it completely changes to a neutral or potentially El Nino, which is the opposite. Now, in our area here, the Atlantic, you can see that the majority of the Atlantic is actually above the long-term average. Now, when you see this blue here, again, I've mentioned this before, but just as a reminder, when you see this blue here, it doesn't mean the water temperatures are 20 degrees. You know, it doesn't mean that they're extremely cold. What it means is you got 0, which is average, and then you got blue under, or the negative numbers. This means that these are under the average, and then when it's a darker color, or yellow or orange or red, that means it's higher or above the long-term average. So as you can see, the main development region area, which the storms usually form, it's actually decently above average. A little cool showing up in the coast of Africa, and some cooling over here in the northern Atlantic, and a little bit of cooling in the Texas coast. Now, we're still early. We're still in April, but this is actually a little concerning, because we're noticing that the temperatures, even though we are still not in the hurricane season, is actually they're pretty warm. The water temperatures are pretty warm, so that's actually something that is a little concerning. Let me show you this chart here, courtesy of Tropical Tidbits. Here shows you a little close-up of what those numbers are. This is in the Celsius degrees. In order for us to have storm formation, tropical formation, we need at least 26, as an average, we need 26 degrees Celsius. That's not a rule, but to support development and give it fuel to the storms, 26 degrees Celsius. That's the number that we need, or the magical number, if you would say. So 26 degrees Celsius, you can see that the majority of the Atlantic, all the way to the coast of Africa, the Florida Keys, and I would say about 50% of the Gulf and the Western Caribbean are definitely ready to support tropical formation. Not all the Gulf is conducive for development. In the other chart, if you remember, right over here, you see a little bit of blue going on. On this one here, whoops, wrong tab. I'm going to talk to you about that soon. But that's why I'm saying 23, because it's still not ready. It's cooler than average. But the majority of it is 26 degrees Celsius and higher, which means that as of right now, April 28th, we could support some tropical formation. Now, that's one chart that I wanted to show you. Now, remember what I was telling you about El Nino right over here, the blue area? Well, this is what it means here. So these numbers, what they mean is, okay, you have the average, which is 0. 0 means neutral. Okay, anything above neutral means it means El Nino. El Nino territory. The higher the plus, the more El Nino or stronger El Nino will be. The below the 0 is La Nina. So if you guys remember, we came off from the peak of the hurricane season with a strong La Nina. Now slowly has been warming up the Pacific. So that's why we're getting closer to the 0. Are we going to see El Nino? I don't think so personally. There's a lot of different models and information out there that definitely shows that we're not going to see an El Nino. Now, but also at the same time, it doesn't seem like we're going to see a strong La Nina either. So I'm thinking weak La Nina, so probably will flatline to potentially go a little higher, but stay within this area. And that means a neutral year. Again, La Nina or neutral year is still supportive of tropical tropical development. So just because we are not in La Nina doesn't mean we're not going to get anything. There have been historically some years that we have been in neutral territory and has been fairly busy. Now, let's take a look at the satellite imagery, see what is going on as far as precipitation in the whole Atlantic, Gulf, and everything. So you can see it's definitely some moisture going on, but nothing concerning. Fairly dry in the Gulf. Western Caribbean, fairly dry. And the majority of the main development region area, it is fairly dry. A little bit of showers here and here. But again, nothing concerning yet, as we are not close, or we're not in the peak of the season where we need to start paying attention to this moisture potentially developing. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you guys is another chart here. So again, this is the one that I showed you, and then some of the other, there's a lot of different models or different charts that you can look at to determine the sea surface temperatures. The other thing I wanted to show you also is, as you can, in other videos I've showed before, where some like the Colorado State University and the Weather Channel, they all have pretty much said we are going to have an above average season. Well, that's not the exception with Arizona, State of Arizona University, where they're also saying the same thing. So they're expecting 18 named storms, 8 hurricanes, and 4 major hurricanes. That's their prediction, the early prediction. Now, a lot of these different companies, they come up with an early prediction. As we get into June, they reassess the situation, how the sea surface temperatures are, and the different components. And usually they come up with another one and update it. As they get closer to the peak of the season, then they come out again and reevaluate it one more time and see if they have to adjust the numbers. But so far we have another company, if you will call it, as of April 21st, that is saying also we're going to have an above average season. Now, I also wanted to show you this here. Again, more people saying the same thing. Now, the Colorado State University was calling for 17 named storms, 8 hurricanes, and 4 hurricanes. So pretty much the same. The updated average is 14, 7, and 3. It used to be 12, 6, and 3. Now it's 14, 7, and 3. So that actually got updated because historically, the past probably 5 or 6 years, we have seen that the season has started earlier than expected. Named storm days, excuse me, we had we have the average as 59. Last year we have 118, and Colorado State University is predicting roughly about 80. Hurricane days, the average is 24.2. Last year we had 34. This year, 35. So this is actually something interesting that we need to keep an eye on. And then as far as major hurricanes, same thing. The average is 6. 8.8 we had last year. They're expecting 9. So just by looking at this graph here, what I'm seeing is we are potentially in a setup that we're not necessarily going to have as many storms like last year, but it's looking like we should have roughly about the same amount of hurricanes and the same amount of major hurricanes. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Now, as far as the chance of major hurricane landfall, this is something that a lot of people pay attention to, because this is what is going to tell us if potentially we have a good possibility of getting impacted by a hurricane. So there is a 69% chance that somewhere in the United States coast, somebody's going to get a hurricane. Now, where it's a little split is between the East Coast at 45% and the Gulf at 44%. So if you live anywhere in the Gulf, any Gulf state or any state in the East Coast, we want to definitely pay attention. Personally, I'm in Florida, so I will definitely be paying attention because, in a sense, I have a much higher possibility of being impacted by a storm. So there's almost 70% chance that somebody's going to get a hurricane. Just as a refresher, we have also the named storms: Anna, Bill, Claudette, Danny, Elsa, Fred, Grace, Henry, Ida, Julian, Kate, Larry, Mindy, Nicholas, Odette, Peter, Rose, Sam, Teresa, Victor, and Wanda. Those are the names that we are potentially going to see. And the last thing to close off this video that I wanted to show you guys, it is we are coming up into May. The National Hurricane Center does this every year, where they publish information to how to prepare for the hurricane season. And they take a week where they publish information, tips, and things like that to help you prepare for your for the upcoming hurricane season. And this year is going to be May 9th through the 15th. This is where you can come see this at weather.gov under hurricane preparedness, and this is the site that you can come see what they're going to publish and share with us, so we can stay safe during the 2021 hurricane season. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you liked this video. If you enjoyed it, I appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, like the video, share with your families and friends. Post in the comment section any comments, any suggestions, or if you want to share something regarding the 2021 hurricane season. I appreciate that. Other than that, have a good day, stay safe, and talk to you soon.